It's time for Kansas and South Carolina to be declared the respective national champions in both men's and women's college basketball in 2020. Hi, everybody. I'm Marky, Billson. It's absolutely absurd that Jayhawks and Gamecocks have not been named national champions for 2020 yet. It's like the NCAA cares more about, defying Herman Edwards than they do actually what's best for their sport. No, Mr. Edwards, you don't play to win the game, or the championship, as the case may be here. Look, one of college basketball's major criticisms is the regular season is absolutely meaningless. Theoretically, I know this seems a little far-fetched, but it is absolutely possible that a team could lose all of their games, but then let's say they got a couple of injured stars back for the conference tournament. Boom! Now they get hot, win the conference tournament, win the NCAA tournament, they're the national champion with a 10-30 record or whatever it would be. How fulfilling would that be? It wouldn't be fulfilling at all. And it would show just how meaningless the regular season is in college basketball. Not that it isn't shown all the time right now. So, why don't you declare a national champion off of your regular season? And the teams to choose are South Carolina and Kansas. They were ranked number one in their respective polls. Give you an example about the regular season declaring a champion. Last time I think it really was done was 1994. That was the year when there was no World Series. Strike canceled it in Major League Baseball. And there was still an American and National League that actually meant something, operating, governing bodies of leagues. It wasn't all under the guise of Major League Baseball then. And so, with the best record when the season ended and was canceled, basically, the National League declared the Montreal Expos as their champion, and the American League declared the New York Yankees as their champion. They had the best records. They had earned it, and although, yes, it was a little bit hollow without a World Series, you know what? I can make a greater argument for the Montreal Expos with the best winning percentage in baseball being the National League champion of 1994 than, let's say, the St. Louis Cardinals, who only won, 82, 83 games, and yet they were declared not only the National League champions, but the world champions because they got hot at the right time. Shouldn't the regular season mean something? It means less and less in baseball. It means practically nothing in college basketball. And here's a way to restore worth for college basketball. Look, South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley has already said that her women's basketball team, she's put in a claim that they should be officially ranked as the national champion. Why not? They finished number one in both the AP and coaches poll by a wide margin, 27 of 30 votes, and I really don't know why the other three pollsters were voting for Baylor. But anyway, their final record was 32-1. Best record in college basketball, 16-0 in the SEC, a conference that had 6 teams ranked in the top 25. They won the SEC tournament. Average margin of victory in the tournament was 24 points. The Gamecocks ended their season on a 26-game winning streak. You really don't think they were the best team in college basketball, women's college basketball last year? Settle the championship on the court? They did. Same thing I really think with Kansas. Now, maybe there isn't quite the same argument because Kansas didn't officially have the best record. But then again, you're talking about in college, difference of schedules, different conferences, that sort of thing. Kansas, though, was 28-3. That's a .903 winning percentage. Gonzaga was number 2 in the polls, and they had a slightly greater winning percentage, 31-2, .939. But let's face it, the Big 12 is a more respected basketball conference than the West Coast, and 63 of 65 AP voters agreed. They all ranked Kansas number 1 with the final poll of 2020. And when it's that dominant, you really got an argument for us, Gonzaga? Come on. how doesn't that make the Jayhawks the national champion? It's not like the NCAA tournament's going to go away and we're going to go do what college football used to do and choose the champion with the polls. But right now, in 2020, in these peculiar times, it is the best way to determine a champion. Absolutely, are the polls with and having value for the first time since who knows when in the regular season in college basketball. I know the also-rans will complain. The Baylors, the Gonzagas, the Daytons, so what? Let them make their Central Florida-esque claim. We'll laugh at them. The also-rans always say we was robbed. It doesn't matter if it's the polls or a game that was played on the court, on the field. No, wait a minute. In one way, an also-ran should dictate who the champion should be. That's when their own shortcomings pave the way for the better team to win the title. So let's give the season closure. Let's even inspire fans to learn about college basketball before there were tournaments. Learn who Doc Carlson and his, figure eight was, and Fogue Allen or John Schomer or somebody like that. From way back when. Yeah, the era when they jumped the ball after every basket. But let's learn about that. We'll have now, if you give a national champion, what about those teams that the Helms organization has declared retroactively national champions and such? I mean, that's good for college basketball. Also would, yes, give some weight to the national champions of the poll era. And in the modern poll era, for the most part, look, I do think the wrong team was crowned in 1993. I do think Notre Dame should have been the national champ. I think that Georgia Tech should have been the national champ outright. They shouldn't have to have shared their national championship with Colorado in 1990. But for the most part, the polls pretty much got it right. And as a result, let's give some weight to those national champions in football from back when. I can actually remember when Tennessee won the national championship in 98, and it was the first year of the BCS, and officially you still had the polls then. That's why there was a split title in 2003. But somebody actually tried to make the claim that that was the first legitimate national championship in college football history. That's absurd. Let's not give that guy any weight. Let's declare Kansas and South Carolina the national champions based on the polls. No, based on their seasons. Because as Herm Edwards might say, you don't play a season just to play it. So congratulations. NCAA, Mark Emmert, do the right thing. Crown Kansas and South Carolina as the national champions for 2020 in men's and women's basketball, respectively. I'm Marky Billson. I ask you to follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. We're growing the channel every day. We've got great content, and of course, recent podcasts and such. And you'll also be able to see many playlists of things concerning, say, the SEC, as well as sports in, say, the Tri-Cities, Tennessee area. There's something for everyone. A Pittsburgh channel, Pittsburgh Steelers channel. I've got a NASCAR channel. I'm posting a lot of videos with Jerry Bonkowski. We're approaching 1,300 videos with all kinds of great interviews, as well as my recent commentary. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell when you can, and until next time, I'm Marky Billson.